Hi guys, welcome to MELS Media Education Learning Simpler, where we sail through all your academic worries from the field of media and communications. Let us proceed with today's discussion. Hi, today we are talking about print media, and the topic that we are discussing is news, technicalities, and jargon. What is news? We can say that tomorrow's history is today's news. It's a report of recent events providing previously unknown information which may be of certain interest to the readers. It is something out of the ordinary, something that gets people talking. The English word news developed as a special use of the plural form of the word new. As the name implies, news typically connotes the presentation of new information. Journalism is the activity of gathering, assessing, creating, and presenting news and information. The word journalism applies to all who gather and publish unbiased information based on facts. The word journalism was originally applied to reportage of current events in the printed form, specifically newspapers, and the term has now broadened to include all forms of electronic and printed communication dealing with current affairs. Some of the first news circulations occurred in Renaissance Europe. These handwritten newsletters contained information about wars, economic conditions, and social customs basically circulated amongst merchants. The first printed news appeared in the late 1400s in Germany, and the first newspaper printed in English was published in London in the early half of the 17th century. Such was the stature of news disseminated through print media that it was referred to as the press, which was later hailed as the fourth estate of a democracy. Although the gifts of technology have helped evolve news media from the days of handwritten and printed information to that of radio, television, and now even mobile journalism, print media enjoys an indispensable reputation in any modern society. The Indian print industry is growing strong despite a contrasting trend in some of the most developed nations of the world. This is because of growing literacy rate, availability of a higher disposable income, and the sheer consciousness of the Indian audiences to receive news in the printed format. As per the website of the Registrar of Newspapers for India, the total number of registered publications as on 31st March 2018 was 1,18,239, including both newspapers and periodicals. Now, let us dive into the technicalities of print media. We first talk about the three most prevalent formats of newspaper sizes. A broadsheet is the largest newspaper format and is characterized by long vertical pages. Berliner, also known as Midi, is one of the most popular size formats among news organizations in Europe. The name tabloid originates from the English word table. This format is half the size of that of a broadsheet, and you may also find information about different variations in the formats found in different countries on various websites. Now, we talk about the different components that make up a newspaper. The name of a newspaper as it is displayed on page 1 is masthead or flag. It is part of the publication's branding with a specific font and usually color. Panel strips, not a very regular feature, provides insight into what can be found in the inside pages of the day's paper. When text or graphic elements appear on the either sides of the flag of the newspaper, they are referred to as ear panels. The date line specifies the day and the date, the location of publication, and at times the price of the copy. A vertical strip lists information as snippets and refers an inside page number for the detailed story. It is vertically placed and is generally the size of one column. Headline is large text running above or beside a story to summarize its content, also called head for short. Type used for text which details the entire matter is called body. The reporter's name, usually at the beginning of a story, providing her or him the credit for it, is called byline. Newspaper text rests on an imaginary line that remains horizontally same for all the columns. This is known as a deck, not to be confused with a type of headline about which we will study later. The empty space running vertically between columns is known as gutter. A subhead is actually line of type used to divide body falling under the same headline into smaller sections. As we can see here, the headline is further subordinated by two subheads dividing the story. A small, short, one-line headline placed above a larger headline is called kicker. Infographic is a term used for informational graphic, that is any map, chart or diagram used to analyze an event, object or place. The cut line is a line or block of text providing descriptive information about a photograph, generally accompanied with a photo credit, which tells who shot the photograph. A solus ad is a display ad generally appearing on the front page of a newspaper on the bottom right hand side of the reader. Anchor story is a soft news story used at the base of page 1, while the so-called hard news relates to circumstances of a recent event to be of urgent, hard-hitting significance, like the death of a politician or a disaster. Soft news usually centers on the lives of individuals and stories that have very little perceived urgency, like the growing rate of adoption of pets in a city. We will ponder more over the differences between these two later. Above the fold and below fold are simply terms used to designate the areas of a newspaper in two categories, one above the folding line and the other below it. An imprint line appears on any of the inside pages of a publication, naming the publisher and the printer, identifying their locations, and naming the editor. Text at the top of an inside page giving the newspaper's name, date, and page number is called the folio line. Journalism is a demanding profession. The print media not only relies on the journalist to gather information at a fast pace with the highest possible standards, but also depends on a number of other allied jobs such as that of the editorial team, printing house, and others who are responsible for the success of the newspaper house as a whole. This calls for an understanding of the various departments in a newspaper house. Please note that there is no fixed structure followed across all newspaper houses, and the one explained here is just a commonly found standard. Some organizations may have only one editorial department to look after the entire process of news gathering, processing, and publication, while others may have distinctions such as the news desk, reporting, and editorial departments completely separated with separate lines of responsibilities. These various distinctions simply depend on the size of the organization. Apart from the news-based departments, one also finds an advertising, circulation, printing, administrative, and stores department in a newspaper publication house. That is all for today. Before leaving, I would like to mention how the facet of journalism has changed over the years. Earlier hailed for being the voice of the voiceless, today the standards of journalism all across the world, and especially in India, are under reasonable glare of questions. Political and business influence, apart from the sheer need to be number one in every situation, has left journalism standards falling day after day? Do you think that crass material has taken the better of us? Do you think that yellow journalism, a type of journalism that does not report much on real news with facts and uses shocking headlines with startling images that catch people's attentions to just sell some more, has taken the better of us? Do discuss your thoughts on the prevailing standards of journalism in the comment section. We will keep on learning more about news and print media in the forthcoming videos. Thank you. So that was all for today. I hope you liked this video. Do share it with friends who you think may benefit from this. If you have any doubts or suggestions, do reach out to me in the comment section or on the FB page. Hope to see you soon with the next discussion. Thank you.